The Kinks star Jim Rodford died when he fell down the stairs at his home, having watched television through the night to cope with jet lag. An inquest heard todayRock legend and former bassist, who also played with the Zombies, had been drinking before he was found by his wife on the stairs of their detached house. The 76-year-old rocker was found in his dressing gown with his head against a wall and his feet pointing at the stairs in January. The renowned rocker had just returned from an American tour. Coroner Geoffrey Sullivan at Hertfordshire Coroner's Court announced in his judgment of accidental death Mr Rodford, birth name Walter James Rodford, most likely slipped. He said, on Friday, January 19th, Mr Rodford's wife went to bed as usual at around midnight. On the following morning she woke up to find Mr Rodford lying deceased on the bend of the stairs. His head was against the wall and his legs pointed to the top of the stairs. The injuries he sustained were consistent with him hitting his head. The house was secure, and there was nothing other than the head injury found on him, and there does not appear to be anything suspicious about the death. He was jet-lagged and had been watching the telly and had had a few drinks. Sadly, he had some sort of slip or trip and fell and sadly sustained this head injury, which led to his death. A toxicology report carried out after Mr Rodford's death found that he had 239 milligrams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood, with the drink drive limit being 80. A post-mortem examination was undertaken after he died, and this found that the medical cause of death was acute left ventricular failure caused by a head injury in combination with alcohol intoxication. When he was found at his home in St Albans, Hertfordshire, Mr Rodford had 2 small cuts to the back of his head as well as bruising and fractures to the back of his skull. Police Constable Holly Bird, who attended the scene on January 20th, described how a doctor felt the fractures and had found blood on the back of his head. PC Bird said, "We turned him over. The doctor said she could feel the fractures on the back of his head and she had a small amount of blood on her gloves." Mr Rodford's family told the coroner that he had just returned from a tour in America and that, when he was jet-lagged, he would watch sports on television through the night. "He was very fit," said a family member. "It would be fair to say that he would get up and read or watch sports on TV if he was jet-lagged. He would probably have a couple of drinks with it as well." He had been playing concerts just a few days before. He had been awarded an honorary Doctor of Arts degree at the University of Hertfordshire 4 months before his death. Mr Sullivan said, "I have come to the conclusion that this death was accidental.